So you guys were I'm hearing a lot of you guys just wanted the theme song shortened, so here we go. This girl reviews movies, games, and books. Sometimes she plays them. So does that, and when she does it with the cat, does that make her crazy? Does that make her crazy? Probably. So, it's shorter. There you go. Crazy Cat Lead or Martha Butler does not own any trailers or pictures. I use them under fair educational for and entertainment purpose. It's like it's all they did. Well, those years ago. See? No, I don't want to do any more of it. Alright, sorry guys. I was busy watching the Oscars, which Flo won for Best Animated Film, not Wild Robot, which I found was okay. Now let's talk about an animated movie that was not nominated, which I can understand why this one was not nominated. It was not exactly the best film out there, and that was the new Lord of the Rings cartoon, Rise of Rohan. And this one was okay. Because I remember when I was a little girl, they had all these other animated movies that was Lord of the Rings related, and they were okay. This one takes place during Rohan, 200 years before The Hobbit, and only characters we see from the Lord of the Rings is Saruman, since a lot of them are not born yet. Eowyn is narrating it the entire time, so she's telling a story about an old legend to somebody, and so it's basically how Helm's Deep becomes Helm's Deep, that story, and about her ancestors. Where we have Helen, who is reminds you a lot like Eowyn. So you can see where she gets her spunk from this girl, who was almost had to be wed to another little kingdom named that Hammerham killed the dad to, and made him where they had a war because he wanted revenge for what he did to his dad, because he wanted his son to marry Helen, and so now these two kingdoms are in war with each other, and she ends up losing her two brothers and her dad. Her dad dies pretty brutally. He dies right outside the cave, right outside Helm's Deep, frozen to death, trying to keep his daughter safe, and his oldest son gets shot in the neck with an arrow, and then the other one gets head cut off. So, man, you can totally see why this is said it was probably rated PG-13 because of all the blood was in it, even for anime. Because technically, this was animated in Japan. So, and they even had an elderly lady who fought, and not sure, was there a hobbit in this movie? It's hard to tell because they did have had somebody who looked like a hobbit, but it was hard to tell because we never saw them walk around with those shoes on. Maybe they were just short. I don't know. I doubt it in this world. And we got to see some of the eagles, and maybe we saw some of the rings. I don't know. I doubt wouldn't the ring already be made by now? I mean, unless they found the ring, because it's supposed to be, the ring's supposed to be being made 2,000 years before this, or 3,000 years, at least 1,000 years before this, because in Lord of the Rings, Elrond says, "I was there 3,000 years ago." So I doubt this would. If anybody would have the ring right now, it probably would be underwater, or on the way to being owned by Gollum. Because, so, what would I think about this movie? Probably would give it, a 7 out of 10. The animation looked pretty good. Sometimes had a hard time following what was going on. The entire part where, we thought the king was dead for a little bit, where we thought he was a wraith. But no, he was just sneaking out of Helm's Deep by using a secret passageway, and then he helped his daughter. And then we saw those orcs with all those rings. So yeah, and then at the very end of the movie, they had a reference for Gandalf, but they don't show him because then they said she's gonna meet a wizard that goes by many names, but he is known as mostly as Gandalf. So yeah, I also do need to do a review of Superman, but but I did like this movie. It was okay. I have seen better Lord of the Rings movies though, but this one kept to remind me of Up Two Towers, which I watched watch Fellowship right afterwards, because since a lot of things were happening during it. But I know the only reason why they made this movie, so Warner Brothers can keep the rights to it, to the Lord of the Rings things, because they haven't made a lot of the Lord of the Rings things since the last Hobbit movie, since Amazon's making that TV show of Power of the Ring. And as far as I know, that Warner Bros. Has nothing to do with that show. I wouldn't know. I never watched that show because I heard that the Tolkien scholar guy did not like what they were doing with it, so I decided not to watch it. So anybody, when an expert usually doesn't like the franchise, it means it's pretty bad. So yeah. So like I said, I gave this one at least as like a 7 out of 10. The animation is pretty good looking, but the rest of it's hard to understand. So and I don't know how faithful it is to whatever book this is supposed to be based off of. Not one I read. Okay, guys, so I want to add the fact that we got ourselves a new Gandalf. John Lithgow. If you guys don't know, who also was the voice of Lord Farquaad for in Shrek. And technically, this is a little bit weird that we're getting him as the next Dumbledore, because I found it weird that they're casting an American actor. Because how much J.K. Rowling wanted to make sure that we did not cast any American actors for the movies, and yet here we are casting an American actor in the TV show. I guess she doesn't care for this time around, but what are you gonna do? I know people already are getting mad at this poor guy who just wants to who just wants to be in a good role, who hasn't got much left to live. And what are you guys doing? That's what a lot of people are doing to this poor guy, telling him, no, you should not go on be in this TV show, because what Jared Hogan said a couple times on text, on Twitter or X, where you want to call it. Come on, guys. Are we gonna boycott every single thing that she does? So, are you guys not gonna go to Universal next year when they build a Nintendo World? Because you do know every time you go into that park, you give money to her for royalties. Same thing exactly with Legos and candy bars, anything that are connected to her. I just find that ridiculous, and you guys are getting that mad about it. But whatever, I just hope they don't do that to those poor kids. So that's what I gotta add about that. We'll see how well he does. I want to see this. I mean, I really don't care. I'd rather them not remake this, because the movies are great, but I do want to see some scenes in the books they did not get to make in the scenes. So yeah, I'm kind of in the middle ground about this. So, because I don't think anybody can be good as the ones who have sadly are no longer with us. as Gandalf, as Dumbledore. Where did I say Gandalf? Dumbledore. So that's it for right now. So I just went and added that. Back to past me. So I'll see you guys later. Like, favorite, subscribe, and bye-bye.